Stop for a moment. Don't scroll just yet. I want to ask you something that might completely reshape how you look at life. Do you honestly believe that being good guarantees safety? That kindness shields you from harm? That generosity earns you loyalty? That honesty brings you respect? If your instinctive answer is yes, then brace yourself, because what you're about to hear might shatter one of the most comforting illusions society has ever sold you. The harsh truth is this: goodness alone does not protect you, it exposes you. The world does not reward pure heartedness, it exploits it. And no one understood this better than Niccolo Machiavelli. He watched empires fall because rulers were too kind. He saw noble men destroyed because they trusted too easily. He witnessed generosity met not with gratitude, but with betrayal. He recorded every observation, turning it into lessons for those willing to see the world as it truly is, not as they wish it to be. Today, we'll explore the hidden cost of being good, the invisible tax of virtue that drains power from those who practice it blindly. In the next few minutes, you'll learn why your kindness is being weaponized against you, why your good nature earns exploitation rather than respect, and most importantly, how to transform your goodness from your biggest weakness into your strongest advantage. Before we go any further, let's make one thing absolutely clear. This is not an invitation to cruelty. It's not permission to deceive, manipulate, or harm. What I'm about to share is a blueprint for balance, how to use goodness with precision rather than impulse. Because in a world dominated by wolves, innocence is not purity, it's vulnerability. So take a moment and affirm this to yourself. I practice strategic goodness. From this moment on, you will not offer kindness aimlessly. You will use it intelligently, with intent and purpose. Let's begin with the first uncomfortable truth. One, goodness as exposure. Think of the kindest person you know, the one who's always available, always saying yes, always giving. Now ask yourself, are they truly respected, or are they simply convenient? The sad reality is that endless kindness doesn't command admiration, it signals predictability. When people know you won't push back, they stop seeing you as strong. When they know you'll always help, they stop seeing your help as valuable. You become the dependable background character in everyone else's story, helpful but forgettable. There was once a manager I knew, the most compassionate leader in the office. He covered for his team, took responsibility for their mistakes, and worked late to make their lives easier. Everyone loved him until promotion time. Someone less kind, but more assertive, got the job. Why? Because niceness is mistaken for servitude, not leadership. People respect boundaries, not blind giving. When your kindness becomes predictable, it turns into permission. Permission for others to take without giving. Permission to disrespect your time. Permission to treat your empathy as an endless resource. Machiavelli warned, the lion cannot defend himself against traps, and the fox cannot defend himself against wolves. Therefore, one must be both. You've been trying to survive as a lamb, hoping the wolves will notice your goodness, but all they see is dinner. Remember this: being endlessly kind is not noble, it's naive. Protect your energy, because once it's drained, no one will refill it for you. To the trap of generosity. Here's a paradox that might sting. The more you give, the less people appreciate you. At first, generosity feels empowering. People praise you, thank you, and shower you with admiration. But over time, the applause fades. What once felt like kindness begins to look like obligation to them, not to you. You become the person they expect to give, not the one they thank for giving. It's a psychological pattern known as hedonic adaptation. Humans adjust quickly to comfort. What once felt like a gift becomes normal. Help someone once, and they're grateful. Help them 5 times, and they expect it. Say no once, and you're suddenly selfish. The same people who once celebrated your giving will resent you when you stop. Picture a parent who never says no to their child. At first, the child is thrilled. Over time, they stop saying thank you. The next gift isn't special, it's just what they think they deserve. One day, the parent finally says no, and suddenly they're unfair. The same pattern unfolds at work. with friends, even in relationships. You stay late, help out, pay for dinner, drive people around. And then one day, when you're exhausted and say no, you're labeled difficult or distant. Machiavelli once wrote, benefits should be given slowly so that they may be more appreciated. What he meant was this: value is born from scarcity, not abundance. When you give without limit, you destroy the value of your generosity. True power lies not in endless giving, but in selective generosity, giving where it counts, when it counts. So remember this affirmation: I give with purpose, not impulse. 3. The illusion of virtue. Let's confront another uncomfortable truth. People judge appearances, not intentions. The world rarely cares whether you're truly good. It only cares whether you look good. That's why the most respected individuals often master the art of perception. They wear the mask of virtue when needed, but beneath it, they maintain control. Successful leaders don't achieve greatness by being endlessly agreeable. They balance compassion with calculation. They show warmth in public and discipline in private. They know when to smile and when to strike. This isn't deception, it's strategy. Like a surgeon cutting to heal, sometimes you must appear ruthless to do what's right. Imagine a doctor refusing to operate because it might hurt the patient. That's what blind kindness does. It avoids short term pain at the cost of long term harm. True virtue isn't about appearing soft, it's about doing what's necessary, even if it's unpopular. Machiavelli said, everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you truly are. That's not cynicism. It's awareness. Perception shapes reality. If you allow people to perceive you as weak, they will treat you as such. But if you project strength, calm, measured, unyielding, people think twice before crossing you. This isn't about being fake. It's about being wise. You control the narrative. Repeat this affirmation: I manage my image. My image does not manage me. For the economy of energy, every act of kindness has a cost. Every yes you utter consumes time, energy, and focus, the most limited resources you possess. The problem isn't giving, it's giving without balance. Many good hearted people burn out because they mistake depletion for virtue. They confuse exhaustion with purpose. Imagine you're on an airplane and the oxygen masks drop. The instruction is always the same: secure your mask before helping others. Why? Because if you can't breathe, you can't save anyone. Life operates on that same principle. When you drain yourself dry trying to rescue others, you become one more person who needs saving. For years, I said yes to everything, every request, every favor, every small task that turned into hours of unpaid effort. I thought I was being selfless, but slowly, resentment crept in. My project stalled, my goals blurred, and I found myself empty. The realization hit me hard. Saying yes to everyone means abandoning yourself. And when you abandon yourself, you lose the ability to serve anyone meaningfully. The most impactful people aren't those who say yes to everything. They're those who guard their energy fiercely, who say no often so they can say yes when it truly matters. Machiavelli once noted, he who wishes to be obeyed must know how to command. Command begins within. If you can't govern your own energy, you'll never lead effectively. Affirm this now: I protect my resources. My energy is sacred. 5. Turning virtue into power. So where does this leave us? Should we stop being kind, generous, or honest? Absolutely not. But these qualities must be used with the precision of a skilled warrior, not the recklessness of a naive dreamer. Kindness, honesty, mercy, generosity, they're tools. And tools, when used wisely, build empires. When used blindly, they destroy them. Think of virtue as a sword, left hanging on the wall. It protects no one, but wielded at the right time, it defends, commands, and inspires. Your goodness should work the same way. Help strategically, not compulsively. Offer mercy to those who value it. Be generous when it creates mutual strength. Say yes with conviction, not guilt. When you reserve your goodness for moments of impact, it becomes powerful again. Your help becomes rare, and therefore valuable. Your kindness becomes remembered because it's intentional. People begin to respect your boundaries because they can feel the weight of your yes. History remembers those who use goodness strategically. Martin Luther King Jr. was compassionate, but never passive. He confronted injustice directly, channeling empathy into action. Mother Teresa didn't try to help everyone. She focused her efforts on the poorest of the poor, creating a ripple effect that transformed millions. Strategic virtue isn't about withholding, it's about amplifying impact. So as you move forward, redefine what it means to be good. Let your kindness be intelligent. Let your generosity be intentional. Let your honesty be sharp. Goodness, when guided by awareness, is not weakness. It's strength refined by wisdom. Affirm this to yourself one last time. I am not blindly good. I am strategically good. Because in a world that feeds on innocence, it's not the kind hearted who survive. It's the kind hearted who learn how to protect their power. And when you master that balance, your goodness no longer burns you. It lights the path ahead. Pause for a moment. Before you move on, I want to ask you a question that might alter the way you think about morality, influence, and power itself. Do you believe that being kind protects you from harm? That goodness guarantees safety? That generosity builds loyalty? That honesty automatically earns respect? If your answer leans toward yes, you've fallen for one of the most seductive illusions of human society, the idea that goodness, on its own, keeps you safe. The truth? Blind goodness is not protection, it's exposure. It opens you up to exploitation. It gives others a map of your weaknesses. Niccolo Machiavelli saw this centuries ago. He watched noble rulers destroyed by their mercy, kind kings betrayed by their subjects, and generous leaders stripped of their power. He realized something most people still refuse to admit. Goodness without intelligence destroys more lives than malice ever could. But today, you'll learn how to fix that. You'll understand how to turn goodness into a strategic force, not a naive virtue, but a tool of influence and resilience. You'll see why kindness often gets mistaken for weakness and how to make it your source of authority instead. Let's begin with the truth you dare to face. Strategic goodness, the foundation of real power. The greatest people in history weren't just good, they were intentionally good. They understood that kindness is not about pleasing everyone, it's about creating impact. Their actions were calculated, purposeful, and precise. Their virtue wasn't something they handed out freely to win affection. It was a lever to move the world in the direction they chose. So, how can you do this in your own life? It begins with three questions before every yes you give. One, does this align with my deeper values and long term vision? Two, three, can I do this without draining myself in the process? Four, five, will the person receiving this act of kindness truly value it? Six, if any of those questions get a no, then your answer must also be no, not with hostility, but with conviction. Because every yes that costs you your peace, energy, or respect is a hidden no to yourself. When you do say yes, however, say it with full presence. Give completely, commit entirely. Make that help meaningful, not habitual. Because when your kindness becomes deliberate and rare, it transforms from something expected into something unforgettable. People will stop taking your generosity for granted and start valuing it as something sacred. That's how strategic goodness works, not through quantity, but through quality. Machiavelli once wrote, the promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present. What he meant was this: sometimes to stay true to your greater mission, you must disappoint someone in the moment. You can't please everyone without betraying your purpose. Being firm is not being cruel, it's being wise enough to protect what truly matters. Repeat this truth to yourself: I practice intelligent kindness. Because strategic kindness builds strength, blind kindness builds resentment. The vanishing value of gratitude. Here's a truth that might sting. Gratitude fades fast. No matter how much you do for people, their appreciation has an expiration date. The first time you help, they're moved. The second time, they're thankful. By the fifth time, they expect it. By the 10th, they stop noticing altogether. This is not evil, it's human nature. Psychologists call it hedonic adaptation, the tendency to normalize whatever goodness we repeatedly experience. The more you give, the faster your giving becomes invisible. Think about it. You help a friend move once, and they thank you sincerely. Help again, and they're pleased. Do it a few more times, and suddenly it's not a favor anymore. It's your role. Then one day, you're busy and can't help, and suddenly, you're the bad guy. This pattern doesn't only exist in friendships. It appears in every form of human connection between coworkers, families, even partners. The person who always says yes becomes an unspoken utility. Their help isn't appreciated. It's assumed. And the moment they set a boundary, the same people they supported start labeling them selfish or ungrateful. It's ironic. The more consistently kind you are, the less valuable their kindness becomes. The more accessible you are, the less your presence is respected. The more you give without pause, the less people realize the cost of your giving. That's the illusion of gratitude, the belief that doing more will make people appreciate you more. In reality, it often breeds entitlement instead. The people who truly value are not those you constantly rescue, but those who understand your limits and still respect your time. Machiavelli once observed, men judge more by what they see than what they feel. People don't remember what you did last year. They react to what you do now. Yesterday's sacrifice becomes today's expectation. So learn to create distance. Let people experience your absence. Let them face their own challenges. It's not cruelty, it's clarity. It teaches others to value what you bring instead of assuming it will always be there. Affirm this in your mind. My kindness has boundaries because boundaries don't limit your goodness, they protect it. When results speak louder than intentions, here's another hard truth. The world doesn't reward intentions, it rewards outcomes. You can have the kindest heart and the noblest motives, but if your actions don't produce results, your goodness means little in the eyes of reality. History doesn't immortalize those who merely meant well, it celebrates those who acted effectively. You can be the nicest person in every room, but niceness without impact vanishes the moment you leave. Would you rather be remembered as someone who always wanted to help but achieved little, or someone who made difficult decisions that led to real progress? Most people choose comfort over consequence. But as Machiavelli would argue, comfort builds mediocrity, courage builds legacy. True goodness often looks harsh in the moment. A strict parent might seem unkind, but is building discipline. A teacher who gives tough grades isn't punishing, they're preparing their students for the future. A leader who enforces high standards might appear demanding, but they're cultivating excellence. That's the paradox of genuine goodness. It doesn't always look good on the surface. Sometimes love looks like rejection, and mercy looks like confrontation. True goodness isn't about making people comfortable, it's about helping them grow. Nice people seek approval. Good people seek transformation. Nice people avoid conflict. Good people resolve it. Nice people are remembered fondly for a while. Good people shape history. When Machiavelli said, the end justifies the means, he wasn't encouraging cruelty, he was acknowledging reality. Pure intention without effective execution is useless. The world runs on consequences, not sentiments. You are not judged by what you hope to do, but by what you actually did. So ask yourself, are you doing good that feels good or good that creates good? Repeat this affirmation. I focus on meaningful results, legacy and survival, the true test of goodness. Now let's talk about legacy, the ultimate measure of your life's worth. History doesn't honor the merely pleasant. It honors the effective. You can probably name countless figures who changed the course of civilization, yet few of them were described as nice. Steve Jobs wasn't adored for his warmth. He was respected for his vision. Mother Teresa wasn't praised for pleasing everyone. She was revered for her relentless purpose. Even spiritual leaders, revolutionaries, and reformers who preached compassion also possessed unbreakable will. Because the truth is simple, you cannot help others if you don't survive first. You cannot uplift the world if you are constantly being drained by it. To preserve your goodness, You must first protect your strength. Weakness masquerading as virtue helps no one. The kindest heart can't give if it's empty. The most generous soul can't serve if it's broken. The most honest voice can't speak truth if it's silenced by exhaustion or manipulation. That's why survival, mental, emotional, and material is not selfish. It's sacred. You can only build a legacy of light if your foundation is fortified against darkness. Machiavelli's wisdom captures this perfectly. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Fear, in this sense, doesn't mean terror, it means respect. It means people recognize your strength and think twice before exploiting it. Affection may fade, but respect endures. Popularity is fleeting, but power sustains impact. So be both, kind and strong, gentle and firm, compassionate and commanding. But if ever forced to choose, choose strength first, because only the strong can afford to be good. That's the essence of strategic virtue. It's not about abandoning kindness. It's about wielding it wisely. It's not about becoming ruthless. It's about becoming resilient. It's not about seeking love. It's about earning respect that lasts beyond the applause. The world doesn't need more agreeable people. It needs more aware people. Individuals who understand that real goodness is built on wisdom, not weakness. The final truth. You've learned something most people never do. Blind goodness is a trap. It drains your spirit, invites exploitation, and blinds you to manipulation. But strategic goodness, that's power. It inspires, influences, and protects. It transforms kindness into leadership, generosity into authority, and morality into mastery. So now the choice is yours. Will you continue to give blindly until your own light burns out? Or will you master the art of giving with intention, preserving your energy, commanding respect, and building a legacy that endures? Because the truth is, your goodness is not the problem. The way you use it is. Say it aloud. I master strategic goodness. In a world filled with wolves, don't become a sheep. Become the shepherd, wise, vigilant, and strong. Protect their light not by dimming it, but by guarding it fiercely. Because when goodness is guided by wisdom, it doesn't just survive, it transforms everything it touches.